Welcome back to our Sutter podcast, baby. I'm your host, Victor, along my co-host, Mark. Mark, how you doing on this fine, dandy Saturday?
I'm doing good. It snowed last night.
It did. Not a lot, but it snowed.
Yeah.
It was worse. It snowed a couple of days ago.
Yeah, it was like during the week or something.
Wasn't too bad, but yeah, shoveled that out real quick. Soft snow.
Yeah.
Last night, it was like an inch. And I was like, the roads are already cleared. We're good to go.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie, though. I'm getting a little annoyed at the snow now because, like, I keep looking at my car and I'm like, this thing looks disgusting. I want to get it clean. And then every time it just snows like about a week later. And I'm like, and then if you go on like 76 or something like that, you're just getting all these cars just hitting that stuff back at your car. So I'm like, is it worth it or should I just not? And I was thinking, okay, yeah, I could do it now. You know, snow's kind of melted, whatever. And then I'm just like, it's going to snow again. I'm like, well, then I can't do this now. So it's just like a delay over a delay.
I had the same thought today. I looked at like my mats. I was like, this looks gross. Yeah. But then I was like, there's no point. Like, I'm gonna just have to bum it out.
Like you could, but it'll probably be like that in like 2 days.
Yeah. It's all right though. We survive. I just want like a fat snow, but not like like this little sprinkle of snow is like, all right, cool.
It's like a tease,
but I want to know that like where this planet's not gonna blow up.
Yeah.
You know?
Like I mean, the fact that it is snowing is good because we've had years where it didn't snow at all.
Yeah.
So it's like.
But I need it up to my knees, brother.
True. The ones where you're just like. You're like.
Neck crunch is just. It's like, I need
the
that.
Snow where it's like you possibly could fall. Like
yeah,
when
like
you're walking.
You could literally just like throw yourself back and you be chilling.
Or like you trip yourself because it's so steep. You're just like thick.
You're scooping it up.
Yeah. And you're like, bro, this is terrible. Yeah, no. That snow it's cool. It's the worst though when you have a house that has like no awning or nothing. So the snow's like right in front of your door. You can't get out. Like that's terrible, bro.
It's actually terrible because you ever see the videos of people like in Buffalo, New York, and it's like
covering half their window. And I'm like, bro, you just gotta wait till the snow melts. I don't even know how you're gonna do that, but
that snow's wild. No. That makes me like whenever Buffalo stops getting snow like that, we should already be concerned.
True, yeah.
But like when Buffalo is like, yo, it's December, we've gotten no snow, and it's like, all right, like,
well, we're dying. Now. Yeah, I like snow. It's just again when it comes in waves like that, and when it's not a lot, it's like it's a tease, and it's just like, come on, man, like I want actual snow for
sure. I have something very important that I want to talk about. I didn't want to get caught up in snow, but. Have you heard of this John Williams story, undercover story at all?
John Williams.
Bro, there was other things that I wanted to talk about, but this is like next level movie shit that I had to take notes, okay? This came across my desk, all right? We don't have interns or anything, but something came across my desk.
Gina?
How's my 4 o'clock? No, but yeah, there's this man by the name of John Williams, all right?
John Williams. Sounds like what is it? A conductor.
He is.
He is, right?
Because I was trying to do research on this and he kept coming up and I was like, no, I'm trying to.
Yeah, okay. That's why when you said his name, I was like, what the heck? And I know like he did, I think, some music for like Star Wars and stuff. So that's why I was I was like, what? This name sounds familiar.
But John Williams is a man. This is some next level movie type. This is a movie script. John Williams is a gay man that went undercover into like right-wing militia groups, so like people that would like storm the Capitol type shit, like very like like Trump supporters on crack kind of shit, like those hate groups kind of like stuff. He infiltrated those groups undercover. He didn't tell his parents, his friends, loved ones, police, anybody. He's just a regular guy. He went undercover and rose the ranks of these groups to like expose them all and like essentially like put their info out there, and he like recorded all this secretly and sent it to a bunch of reporters, and he had it on a flash drive ready to go in case he ever got discovered or thought he was going to get arrested or killed. This is a regular guy. This is not a cop.
No, yeah.
I don't think you realize how wild this is.
No, I think it's wild. I was waiting for you to say like, and now he's dead.
No, so
that's why I was waiting because you said the whole flash drive.
For y'all know, there's notes, okay? Yeah. So this was in Utah, right? Mm-hmm. And like I said, he's a gay man. He said he grew up in a rural area in the United States. His family wasn't approving of like being gay or whatever. He's living on his own life. He's a wilderness. What is it? Let's see if I can find it.
He helps out the trees.
No, like his job is like he's like a wilderness survival person. So like already is like John Wick, like Jason Statham kind of shit. And like I said, he didn't tell anybody. He just decided to do this on his own. He didn't get paid to do this.
That is a big commitment, you know, like getting nothing out of it. I mean, you get something out of it possibly, but like to know that you're not being compensated is the thing.
Yeah. And he said what motivated him to do it was after like in 2020 when people were storming the Capitol and shit, he was just like.
That was in 2020?
Yeah. That's when Trump got removed from office, or 2021, I think, technically.
No, yeah, just because I can't imagine myself like something like that happening, but I was like inside. I thought we were like outside at that point.
Yeah, that was like 2021, January 2021. Like Trump was like transitioning out of office.
Okay.
So yeah, after he saw that people stormed the Capitol and like the craziness with that and like how much like there were basically militias or like groups there were so like pro-Trump that they were willing to like overthrow the government to get what they want. And he was like, I kind of want to put us like, he was like, he feels as though it's only going to get worse. With obviously Trump regaining the election and then Trump saying that he's going to pardon all those people that did that. Because I think it was like 1,000 people that were like charged on that from what happened on that day.
That's just wild to hear.
So yeah, there was 2 groups that he infiltrated. One that he was like in was called AP3, which is the American Patriot 3 Percenters. Yeah.
I'm just like funny.
Just as corny as you would think.
I just think it's funny though that they actually had like the acronym. Like,
yeah.
AP3.
AP3.
Yeah.
They just throwing out their signs.
That's what I'm thinking of when I hear it.
I did not mean it. I know I just threw something that was real. Let me not do that again. I apologize. I'm not getting affiliated. But yeah, that was a group that he like rose the ranks of. And then another one that he like had like, I guess because he grew up in the ranks of this one, he had ties or like knew people in another one called Oath Keepers.
Oath keepers. That sounds something that I feel like they would think of.
Yeah, it's like my oath.
Yeah,
as an American,
I keep it.
But yeah, he recorded all his evidence on like tape or like recording, so like it was all audio. And then he shipped it off to a bunch of reporters, but only one of them replied, and it's the person that like initially made this this article. His name is pull it up. The publishing page is ProPublica, which I was not familiar with, but apparently they do really good like investigative work. But yeah, this is run by Joshua Kaplan. Is like he got all this tape sent to him and he actually replied to him. So he had like a dialogue with John Williams. And yeah, so that all happened. Here's this crazy article. You can actually, I saw it through a TikTok and I got like a brief summary and I was like, I need to know more about this. And then I went to ProPublica and had this crazy long article, but you can also listen to it. So this morning, to like really know my shit, I listened to it to prepare for today. So if you want to do that too, go ahead and do that. And yeah, he had all this stuff stored, and he was like, he had his backpack, and he was like living on the road, and he had like food and stuff, and like just a small bag of clothes, and like the recordings. And he was like, in case if I ever felt like, yo, like they found me out, I'm gonna immediately send it out, and then like whatever happens to me happens, which is a crazy like martyr kind of thing to do.
I mean, it's just crazy to think that it goes to that extent. Like when you're like,
I'm willing to die for this shit.
Well, die, but like, you know, you're kind of scared to the point where it's like,
yeah, like you're living in a, not only is like, because just as anybody, or it's just like, yo, like you're just scared to do this because like you're in a group of people that clearly, if they formed a group and have names and ranks and stuff, like they really about this shit. So if you were found out to be somebody who's trying to like break it down, you'd be in trouble, let alone a gay person, which I'm assuming in these groups they're probably not too fond of to begin with. So automatically just scary as shit.
Exactly.
But yeah, so he had recordings of conversations between like the members and officials, and he had there was a bunch of conversations about like assassinating politicians and like things along those lines. And apparently like I guess it said sabotage numerous operations that they had planned on executing. So I don't know if that was like riots or like whatever it may be, but he heard that they were going to do X, Y, and Z. And like, I guess he did stuff to kind of like stop it from happening or make it like less effective.
They're like, okay, guys, you know, everybody's hands raised as a vote to say we're going to do it. Yeah. And then it's just like him not.
Nah.
Come on.
But he was like, he like was an elected official in this group. Like he got like respect in there. Yeah. So he called shots.
Yeah. At some point. I mean, he just did it to be able to do that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I don't know as far as like what they actually like did, you know, like actually like things that they actually did do while he was in there. So that's the thing that's kind of like, you don't know whether or not if he actually took action with some of those things.
I mean, it's probably stuff like that. Like think about like people who are like real life double agents.
Well, that it makes sense because it's their job. You know what I'm saying? So it's like they won't get any repercussions to it, you know, in a sense. I mean, they would, and they would have to, deal with that. But for somebody like you said who didn't go to the cops or anything, it's like at the end of the day, I feel like they could be like, well, didn't you do this too? And it's like,
True.
So that's the only thing I'm like, it's kind of a worry.
But do you can you imagine having to put on a front like that for so long and not to be a trained person, not even trained to do so? Like, this is just like
that's what's crazy about it, But maybe I guess not being trained probably makes it a little bit easier, because I think when you're trained, you have so many like kind of like scripted stuff you got to try to follow so much. And then like you're so trained to the point where it's like, I don't know, you might like think like you got to, I don't know. I feel like to a regular person, it might be a little bit easier to relate to somebody else than somebody who just has, because since they do that for so much in that actual field, they have so many personalities. So it's like they're trying to map out which ones to actually use. So who knows?
True. But and also John Williams is not even his real name. He legally changed his name. So this is like even more so like action movie, like spy level shit.
True.
And he actually during like before all this, he actually had been in jail in like the early 2010s. It was like apparently it said it was like a bunch of petty thefts, so like trespassing and little stuff like that. But he did get caught for them. And that's not what landed him in jail. What landed him in jail is that he was sending email threats to the people that were like investigating those petty cases. And they traced them back to him. And then that's how he ended up in jail. So not only is he like going undercover and shit, but like when people caught him for doing like little shit, he was like, yo, like if you fucking try to put me in jail, I'm on your ass. And then they found it out and he actually went to jail.
That's actually crazy.
So yeah. And then so after like infiltrating these groups and stuff, and like as he got deeper into it and like building relationships with these people, he found out, or like at least proved, that a lot of these members were cops, doctors, and elected politicians. And then some of the doctors, which makes this even crazier, some of the doctors worked under United Healthcare, which is a group that like Mario's brother went to the castle and pew pew. Sure. So that's like crazy as fuck overall. And then currently, he got found out, or like felt like he was going to be found out in April of 2023. And he became a fugitive, is currently living out his car and in remote desert areas to avoid potential threats and from the militia finding him.
So at that point, that was it. He stopped at that point. Yes,
in April 2023. And I think, if I remember correctly from like skimming and / listening to the article, the reason he got found out is because he got picked up by one of the elected officials, like another fellow official, to like it's like the hiring, like probably the highest ranking guy or something. They were close to it, and he went with him like an hour away from where he was currently living to go like spend the night at his house for something. And he had like a mic on him, obviously, to record this stuff, and the mic like fell or some shit fell out, and his dog picked it up, and and he was like, "Oh fuck, like I'm fucked, like he's about to kill me." And he said the guy's house was like, he was like a militia kind of like country, like pro gun kind of guy, so his shit was just like laced with like shotguns and all this crazy shit. So he was like, "Yo, I'm fucked," and apparently like the guy didn't think anything of it. He was like, "Oh, like the dog just picked something up off the floor. Like he does that. Like don't mind him." So after that, he's like, "Yo, like that was too close to call. Like I'm out." And then that's when he mailed out a bunch of stuff. And
sure, that makes sense, because at the end of the day, you don't know. He could have just lied.
And he could have just been like, "Nah, like don't worry about it." He's like,
but really, he's like,
"Yeah, it's raps for you."
Yeah, things something up. So he could have been like, something could have happened the next like 2 days or so, like something. Yeah.
So yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
I don't think you realize how difficult this is. Like, I need more of a wow out of you.
It is, because it's internally. I'm like picturing everything. I'm picturing like an action movie. I'm picturing like James Bond type of stuff. Like,
bro, you're sleeping in this guy's, and you're like, everything about you is a lie.
Yeah.
And at any point, you know how paranoid that might make you. Because like, you might think like, yo, I'm killing this undercover shit, and the whole time they know. Yeah. And like, yeah, go to this place, and then you just get like bodied.
I'm trying to like think, because like the reason why I'm like, because I'm in so much in my head, because I feel like I've seen something very similar of just like an undercover stuff. Like I've seen a movie with Johnny Depp. I forget what it was called, when he was like kind of young, like really young. Oh. It was the same thing where he was like undercover. Another one where it was who was it? I think
I remember there was one like that where he was older. Or like he portrayed an older guy, like a mafia guy.
It was kind of like that.
I forget the name of the movie. I'm gonna pull it up. I've seen it before.
And I think it had Robert De Niro in that movie too with him. And there was one scene where they were getting like Japanese food, but because he had a recorder in his boots that he was wearing, the tradition was like they take their shoes off, and he was just like going on this whole thing of just like he was like, nah, I'm not taking my shoes off. He was like, the guys that were there were like, take your shoes off. And he was like, no. He was like, I'm not going to do it. And he was basically referring, because they were like Japanese, that it right to the war. And he was like, his dad, he was like, I'm not going to do it because this guy went, and they was just doing all that. So he basically had to make a whole scene getting riled up to the point where then like the other like top like mafia people were just like, all right, like don't take it off. And then the dude's like, he was like, oh, you got to take it off. He was just like basically threatening them than the owner at that point. But like just that type of level of stuff was like, you got to like, if situations get that close, it's like you got to think of stuff like, because if not,
you just the movie I was thinking of was Black Mass, but he was the bad guy, and he was like worried about people recording him and shit.
Yeah, there's another one. There's another one with I think Leonardo DiCaprio and I think not Brad Pitt, Matt Damon. Matt Damon's like in on it and something, but Leonardo is like undercover being inside the actual like mafia gang, to the point where like he was working with the cops, and then it got so far and so deep in it where Leonardo DiCaprio was just kind of like at his end with it. Like he was just like so paranoid, and so like every day he like went to the cops just like, bro, I can't do this anymore. Like I'm like scared for my life. Like there's so many different things that are happening. Like I could get found out any second. Like to think of the lies and then to do the actions, because they actually like tell you like, yo, kill somebody.
You gotta prove yourself. Like
like it's like you got to do these things. And you got to live with that type of stuff. And they're just the cops just like, I'm sorry, you have to go through this, but we just need more information. We need this, we need that. And so it's like, bro, I couldn't imagine.
It had me bugging out.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, where are you really about this? Like, you know, go and do X, Y, and Z. And it's like, damn, like, how far am I going right now?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not getting paid for this. This ain't no. Obviously, he like technically did an amazing job. Like he, you know, mission successful.
I mean, let's see how far it gets, you know, taken as far as like what the actions are going to be done by it.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, I mean, it's out of his hands, but like he like uncovered a lot.
No, for sure. Yeah. And that's where it's like, we would hope we would get all that information as it is, not, you know, fixed up and edited to like look some way, everything.
Yeah. But it's crazy to think about, because like, you know, like I said, he said they were cops, politicians, doctors, some were OBGYNs. So it's like, you think about all those things and you think about the positions they're holding and then their beliefs and like how that can affect a lot of people, especially like those are powerful, like lives could be in their hands, like doctors or police officers, stuff like that. Like politicians, they kind of make and control like what direction policies will go. So for those people to be in essentially, I mean, let's be real, hate groups, like
for sure.
You can have your political like stance on something, but to go and join like
when you make a group specifically,
like a group like this military style type shit with like weapons and
like who is this group for? This isn't like we're going here to play like bingo night. Like, no, we're doing this to set up plans to like start crimes and stuff.
Yeah, like this would be equally as weird if they were like left leaning or right. Like this is too much.
Yeah,
like let's be real here. Like get a job. You have too much time in your hands.
True.
And the election was won. Like,
true.
What are we what are we fighting for at this point?
That's what's scary. It's like it's to the point where that's not enough for them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? To the point where it's just like, no, like we need more. We need to really make sure that none of these people, you know, like stand up to us. Like there's no like black lines, whatever it's called. Yeah. Gray lines. Wild.
Like I need a Netflix documentary like last week.
I mean, they released the Diddy one,
bro. I don't know what else did they get one released for? There was one that was like, yo, it just happened and it was already out. Oh, the Luigi John.
Oh,
they came out like, bro, he was like walking. He was being escorted out the cop car, and it was like on that, inside Luigi Mangione. Not like, sexually. Unfortunately. Everybody just thirsting over them.
Yeah. This is wild. Yeah, they just come out with documentary, bro. I'm telling you. It's to the point where it's like, because it's so new I think it doesn't even matter to them like what the level of like quality it is.
I was gonna say, like how accurate can you be? The facts aren't out yet.
10 minutes long. And they're just like, wow, that was a masterpiece. I learned so much. Like what? It said the title and then it showed his face and it was over.
Yeah, like I feel like call me crazy, but you should wait until the entire thing is done.
Bro, that's part 2.
Yeah, that's what they'll do too. Like they'll just be like the unfinished story. Like
the unfinished story. The
now we actually think we got it all figured out. Story, maybe.
Right. This is the title. It just keeps going. We think the unfinished story is solved.
But yeah, bro, I could never.
No,
for the free ski,
do it. No, yeah, I would never be able to do it. Like again, I feel like, well, I don't know his life, so it's like I don't know how like active his life was, you know, to be able to like have like, because you said he didn't tell anybody.
He gets active.
He didn't tell anybody, so I'm like, you know, at what point, like, how calm was his life to be able to do it, so that way he wouldn't have to worry about like anybody looking for him or finding out, you know,
well, he said himself like his family was not approving of him being gay. Like, he grew up in a very small. So
when you told me that, I was like, okay, so I don't feel like his parents.
So he's detached from all that, and he has a name change, and like friends wise, I don't know. Maybe he's just.
I'm just really interested to understand this connection with him making music. You know,
he doesn't make music.
Oh, you know, because I thought when you said the name,
it's not the same guy.
That's what I thought, bro. You agreed
because you were like, oh, like he sounds like so, and there's another man.
So you agreed that
there was another man by the name of John Williams.
Is that the name that he took?
Yeah, that's his new name,
John Williams.
Okay, so
no,
the guy that went no. I just want to make so the guy that went undercover,
yes,
and the guy that did the score for Star Wars, two different people.
Okay, that's perfect.
No, I just want. I'm not doing that. I'm just saying in general. So the guy who went undercover was under a different name at some point in his life. We don't know what that is.
Okay,
but he goes by John Williams now.
Okay, that's what I wanted.
So he chose. I don't know if he's a Star Wars fan. He was like, I really fuck with John Williams, and he took his name.
That'd be tough.
But it's also the name is also John Williams, so it's not
very simple.
Yeah, so it's not much to it. But no, that wasn't me getting frustrated. I'm just saying, like, I just want to, like, for everybody watching at home too. Fine. Yeah.
I brought it up before and I asked, oh, like that, and you were like, yeah. So I thought in my head, okay, you're agreeing that that's the same guy.
No, I was saying
you were just agreeing to the fact that
they have the same name. Yeah.
So that's where I got mixed
up. It's not even similar. It's word letter for letter. It's the same.
Exactly. That's why I got confused.
That's what I was saying when I was looking into it. Like, as I typed in his name, the Star Wars John Williams was also coming up. So I'm like, no, like, I want to know about this man in Utah that was infiltrating military groups.
Constantly brings up militia groups. What do y'all think about the music in Star Wars? Like, y'all like it? Yeah. They're like, nah, we hate it.
It's cool until they start adding gay people into it. It's like, whoa.
They're like, oh, okay. No, there's nothing wrong. You know, you got your opinions.
But no, so yeah, two different people. As far as I know, unless the guy who scored Star Wars has gone missing, then I think we're good.
Imagine, bro.
Do we know where he's at, Disney?
They're like, we could not get in contact with him.
No. But yeah, bro.
It's wild.
It's just a regular guy. He's a wilderness survivor. Hey, I don't even know how that's a job. Unless you're Bear Grylls.
Yeah.
Like, I understand if you're like a park ranger.
True.
Or like you work a campground and like, you know. But there's weird jobs out there. Maybe he like used to help people who wanted to go out into the wilderness. Because, you know, there's like crazy expeditions like that.
Yeah.
Because like, if you want to go like up Mount Rushmore, Mount Everest.
Mount Everest.
You have some, you can have like people do that like every day.
It's funny, like because I didn't even peep when you said, and then when I realized, I was like, wait, the place with the president.
Yeah. But like people who want to do Mount Everest or like Machu Picchu and shit, like they have guides.
Yeah.
So like those are like wilderness survivors, I guess you could say.
True.
Which also, would you ever do something like that?
What?
Like Machu Picchu or like Mount Everest and shit like that?
Not Mount Everest because like, I would be terrified of just the weather because like it can change any second. Yeah.
Somebody has made it to the top, right? Yeah. It's like to the highest point.
Yeah, somebody's made it up there before. I don't know how consecutively people do make it up there, but I know somebody has.
I remember, but like they died, right?
I don't think so.
The only person the only person that I know made it to the top of Mount Everest or anything like that is in Mr. Deeds when his uncle or whatever he tried to do it, he froze at the top.
Froze at the top, right? Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah. That's
but I think people have. But if it's a place like Machu Picchu, I feel like probably just because it's like warmer. Like, of course, obviously, it could be just as dangerous. Who knows?
It is, yeah. Like, because not even obviously Mount Everest is like snow and whatever, and even with height in general, it just gets cold. What the fuck is this?
It's that.
Oh yeah.
Scary stuff again, bro.
But then there's also, I forget what the actual technical, but like elevation sickness, or like if you're not too used to, like if you go up in height too fast, or anything like that, like or if you're not used to going up to high, I mean, like you can, like your body will react weird to it, and if you don't, like you can die from that shit. Yeah, because I've seen like TikToks or whatever of like she was like, oh, I'm gonna climb, like my friend group was gonna climb Machu Picchu today or whatever it was. And like some of them were fine, or like obviously like it's like physically exhausting, but like their one friend had to get like helicoptered down because her face was like swelling up and everything, like because of like the blood or whatever, like the atmosphere changed.
It's different. It's exactly the people will tell you the same thing. And if you ever travel to like Colorado and stuff like that, because it's so much higher in elevation. Because when I went there, I remember I was told that I didn't feel that big of a difference, but you can feel a little bit of the denseness of it, bro. It's a big difference.
I could be wrong. But I think Mexico City is higher in elevation than Colorado. When I was over there, bro, I was like, yo, why am I dying right now? Yeah. Like, I got used to it eventually. But there was one point where I was like going to a bar, right? And it was on a rooftop. And it was like 5 floors up. When I tell you I walked, like normal, like relaxed walked. And when I got to the top, my heart was pounding. I was like, yo, why is this so difficult right now? And then everybody else was doing it too. I was like, yo, like, what's up? And there's like, oh, the elevation. And I completely forgot that Mexico City is so high up. But that was killing me.
They're like, you're not from around here. Bro, that's how you can tell. Somebody's like,
I'm like, yeah, go ahead. I'm like trying to relax my breathing. I'm like, so I'm not winded up there.
Like, he not from here. Like, yeah, I know.
Bro, clearly.
Yeah, we know.
And I was like, and I'm usually like this on vacation in general, but bro, I was taking like 4 showers a day. Because I wasn't driving. I would walk everywhere.
Or like that's understandable, bro. You're in Mexico.
And and the elevation. So it was just like added shit to it. Yeah, no. And then there were points where like there was some stuff that I wanted to do was far. But
he said, pull out the stick.
No. They had like the city bikes. Oh, okay. So I would bike. So I would bike to certain places. Okay. And like I just thought like instead of Ubering, like sometimes like if like it wasn't that far, I was like, I feel like it'd be cooler and more sightseeing wise to like do that instead of being in the car and just scrolling through my phone in an Uber. Yeah. So I did that a couple times, but like just that like windedness you would feel, or even like I noticed myself the weight I was at before I got to, because I was like, yo, I'm in Mexico, I'm gonna eat like shit. Like, in all honesty, like I'm gonna eat hella tacos every day, and which I did. Like, I was not tired of it, and obviously I was like drinking and stuff. The way that I ate like an asshole for a week or like 5 days. But I still like, I looked like I was in the best shape of my life because I was walking everywhere, biking everywhere, and then the elevation. So I was sweating everything off.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I was like, this is amazing. I was like, I'd never want to go home.
Yeah. The only way that I could feel like it would combat in that is if you're over there just drinking. It's like crazy. I feel like that ends up causing the whole beer belly. Yeah. Where it's like they look super like well fit, but then you just look at their stomach, you're like, okay.
Which I was drinking, but also like base level, like I'm never really heavy.
Yeah, there's no way. Not like, I'm like mad breakfast, skinny, lunch, and dinner. And type drinking.
And even that, like again, like I'm already like a lightweight person, so it wasn't difficult. But like the way that I got hella toned, it just didn't make sense to me because I was like showering. I went to go change, walk past the mirror. I was like, yo, I was like, am I good? Am I sick? Like,
what's up, Victor?
Not even. I was like, yo, like, do I got like a tapeworm? Like, what's it eating at me right now? But yeah, elevation is wild. Shout out to that guy in Utah. That's the shit. Is like you think about certain people who do shit just for the love of the game. I don't know other way to put it. You got to respect that.
Yeah, I don't know what his. I mean, you see what his motivation was, but just to be the one to wake up and just be like, yeah, like I'm gonna do this.
Yeah, because like how many people you hear say stuff around those lines or anything like where it's like, yeah, I'm gonna do this, and that, and it's like, yeah, cool. Like it's in theory, it sounds cool, but it never makes it off the couch.
Yeah, and never leaves the group chat. Just like
this man was about it.
It's just one of those things too, where like going into that, you also just like have no idea like what you could expect. Mm-hmm. You can go in first day, you see somebody like there, and they're just like, they could be hurting somebody. You're just like, what the heck?
Even if I had the courage to like go and like walk up to I don't know how you walk up to a meeting. I don't even know how you get an invite. But like, imagine going there, like getting dressed, going into character, walking up, and then you're like, I'm gonna walk through this door, and once I'm in here, like I'm in here. I'd be on the other side of that door, like, like yo, like this is crazy.
First person you meet could change everything.
Yeah.
Who knows, man? Wow.
I guess there's a part where he's like, I guess he didn't really have any ties to anyone or whatever. Because I got in my immediate thought of doing stuff like that is like, yo, I got like family, I got like people, that like I care about and give a shit about me.
Yeah.
So I can't be out here turning into John
Wick. That
would
be the scariest thing for me is not so much me getting found, right? Well, yeah, but getting found out and then knowing what my actual name is, and then like
they're extending beyond that.
Yeah, like that would be my fear of like, okay, like what's your actual name? They look me up and then they find stuff like my actual stuff or whatever. Like that would be my fear, because then at that point I can't get away. You know what I mean? Like I'm stuck at that point. That would be my fear.
Excuse me. I don't know, man. You like to say to yourself like, yo, like I'm down for whatever. Like I'm really about that. But then it's like, then you find people who are really about their cause.
Yeah.
Like a Luigi or like a John Williams. Like, because like I could never take it to that extent, but I respect like the balls to go do it.
Yeah, I couldn't either.
Because I could say like, man, I hate taxes or I hate whatever. They're like, oh man, this system's so rigged. Like, but then I still wake up and go to work every day. You know what I mean?
You're not like, okay, now I'm gonna go and learn how to be a politician.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna infiltrate this. Like, yeah, like I just was like, I'm one of the people that like I would love for it to go away, but I'm not willing to do the work to do so, which like hypocritical of me. But I know that, you know.
But it's also like, it shouldn't all fall on you. That's the whole
exactly
thing. Like, it's not your responsibility. Yeah. So you can't get mad about that by yourself.
But somebody gotta light that fucking flame, and John Williams was about that. I don't know what's gonna come of it. I don't know if there's gonna be arrests or whatever.
Yeah.
Because you think about it too, like, who do you tell?
That's what I'm saying.
Because who's going to arrest the bad guys if the bad guys are also responsible for the arresting?
Which is why I was saying, like, hopefully everything gets out to the way it's supposed to.
Yeah,
just like covered up, or, you know, that's why I was worried.
Because luckily this reporter is like, his whole thing is like, yo, I want to expose these kind of things.
This is how I get paid.
Yeah.
so I better get exposed.
And it's not like these are things that we didn't already know. Like, this has been a long running history where like we know, you know, there's been times in history, or even up until now, I don't know how prominent it is, but like police or important people have been in part of groups like the KKK and stuff like that's just like, that's a fact. Like, that's not me talking shit. So that's nothing new, but it just further confirms it. There was also, I mean, we're almost out of time and I don't want to branch into this as well, but there was also another thing that happened. I don't think this was like an undercover thing, but there was like a crazy group chat of like 7,000 people somewhere that was essentially, I don't know how to properly say this like politely, but like a group of like 7,000 people full of R-word people, like assault people, and like they would post about it in there for like touching people.
Wow.
So they would just be in there like sending photos and stuff. Like, then there was like a group of 7,000 people that were like uncovered in that. So like these people in these places exist.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of like finding out who they are and exposing and making sure they're taken care of. And taken care of, I mean like dealt with, you know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, it's hard to like, in that group of 7,000, there has to be people that like hold prominent positions in communities and stuff, whether it's like teachers, cops, doctors, priests, politicians, like.
Yeah.
And it's all online. So it's like, it's so much easier to be hidden as opposed to like going to a physical meeting.
Yeah.
Or you can go under an alias or anything like that. So it's just crazy. Like, I think it's amazing that these things are getting exposed, but it's crazy that they even exist in the first place. Like,
well, we're going to be seeing a documentary soon in the next couple months, hopefully.
I mean, but I guess everything would have to be done anonymously. Like, there's no face to it.
Yeah. Yeah. And
unless there's an arrest, I doubt they'll be able to show the faces of like the guys he uncovered, because there's probably gonna be like a lawsuit out of that. I don't know how it all works, because I remember, what was that other show? It's like Baby Reindeer or some shit. I don't know if you watched it, but
I think I heard about it. Though.
Yeah, it was like I never seen it myself, but I know it was like a big thing. It was like basically about this woman who was like this guy's stalker, and she called him baby reindeer, and like
so she was stalking him.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
And there was a bunch of other, and like I haven't seen it, so I'm not gonna like botch it. But there was a bunch of other stuff that happened surrounding it. But after the documentary was released, she tried to sue Netflix for putting it out, saying that it wasn't her and it wasn't true, whatever. But so it might be a similar situation there legally, which is unfortunate because like these people should be exposed. But you know how it goes.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, bro, there's real life, like, I don't want to say superheroes, but like people that just do extraordinary shit.
Yeah, you never know.
And you'll never hear about it. He's out somewhere in the desert somewhere. I hope you got all your water and food that you need, brother. Shout out to you. I don't even know how you think about doing that. Like even to do something to that extent, it's like, yo, like I got work in the morning. I got to quit my job.
True, yeah. Yeah, let go of all ties with stuff and just go.
But we out of time here. We've been going for a while. Appreciate you guys for watching. Thursday video coming up soon. We love you. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Peace.